The source of motion. The usual components that are part of the actuator's function. Number 1, power source. This provides the energy input that is necessary to drive the actuator. These are often electric or fluid in nature in the industrial sectors. Number 2 is power converter. The role of the power converter is to supply power from the source to the actuator in accordance with the measurements set by the controller. Hydraulic proportional valves and electrical inverters are examples of power converters in industrial systems. Mechanical load. The energy converted by the actuator is usually used to make a mechanical device function. The mechanical load refers to this mechanical system that is being driven by the actuator. Number 4, controller. A controller ensures that the system functions seamlessly with the appropriate input, quantities, and other set points decided by an operator. Then we have types of actuators. Number 1, electric linear actuator. As the name implies, electric linear actuators use electrical energy to enable movements in a straight line. They work by moving a piston back and forth based on electrical signals and are mostly used for movements such as pulling, pushing, blocking, lifting, ejecting, clamping, or descending. Linear actuators function with a motor that generates high-speed rotational motion and a gearbox that slows down its impact. This will, in turn, increase the torque that would be used to turn a lead screw, which results in linear motion of a shaft or drive nut. Often, a 12 volts DC motor is used in linear actuators, but those with other voltages can also be used. Switching the polarity of the connection from motor to the battery would make the motor rotate in the reverse direction. Manufacturers offer linear actuators in different strokes, which is done by increasing or decreasing the length of the shaft. With different gears, different speeds can also be achieved. Generally speaking, the more the speed of the screw turn, the less the force. A switch within the main actuator shaft at the top and lower end stop the screw as it reaches the end of its movement or stroke. As the shaft reaches its end, the switch cuts off power to the motor. Number 2, electric rotary actuator. Electric rotary actuators use electrical energy to achieve rotational movement. This movement can either be continuous or be towards a fixed angle as seen in servo and stepper motors. Typically speaking, an electric rotary actuators consist of a combination of an electric motor, limit switch, and a multiple-stage helical gearbox. In simple terms, these actuators' operations can be defined like this. When a conductor that carries current is brought within a magnetic field, it will experience a force that is relative to the field's flux density, the current that is flowing through it, and its dimensions. Rotations and torque are generated due to the force and back electromotive force, the EMF, that ensues. Number 3, hydraulic linear actuator. The purpose of a hydraulic linear actuator is the same as that of an electric linear actuator, to generate a mechanical movement in a straight line. The difference is that hydraulic linear actuators achieve this with an unbalanced pressure that is applied with hydraulic fluid on a piston in a hollow cylinder that can lead to torque strong enough to move an external object. The main advantage of a hydraulic linear actuator is the massive amount of torque it can generate. This is because liquids are almost incompressible. Single-acting hydraulic actuators have pistons that can move in just one direction, and a spring is needed for reverse motion. A double-acting hydraulic actuator applies pressure of both ends to facilitate similar movement from both sides. Number 4. Hydraulic rotary actuator. Hydraulic rotary actuators make use of incompressible pressurized fluid to rotate mechanical parts of a device. They mostly come two kinds of rotational components: circular shaft that have kiwi and T-bolts that have a bolt pattern which can be used to mount other components. They are available with single and double shafts. The shaft is rotated when the helical spline teeth on it connect to the corresponding splines on the piston, effectively converting linear movement to rotational motion. When pressure is applied through fluids, the piston moves within the housing, prompting the splines to make the shaft rotate. The shaft can be locked in place when a control valve is shut and fluid is held inside the housing. Number 5. Pneumatic linear actuator. Pneumatic actuators are often considered to be the most cost-effective and simplest of all actuators. Pneumatic linear actuators function using compressed air to create movement either by extending and retracting a piston or, more rarely, using a carriage that runs on a driveway or a cylindrical tube. The retraction of the piston is either done with a spring or by supplying fluid from the other end. Pneumatic linear actuators are best suited to achieve high speed and torque on a relatively small footprint. Quick point-to-point motion is their strength, and they don't easily get damaged by hard stops. This rugged nature makes them popular in devices that need to be explosion-proof or resistant to hard conditions like high temperature. 6. Pneumatic rotary actuator. Pneumatic rotary actuators use compressed air to produce oscillatory motion. As with pneumatic linear actuators, these are also simple in their design, durable, and suitable for work in hazardous environments. 3 of the most common configurations in pneumatic rotary actuators are rack and pinion, Scotch yoke, and vane design. In rack and pinion configuration, the compressed air pushes a piston and a rack in linear motion, which in turn causes rotary movements in a pinion gear and output shaft. This could come in single, double, or multiple racks. Number 7 is piezoelectric actuators. Piezo materials are a group of solids like ceramic that reacts to electrical charges by expanding or contracting and generate energy when mechanical force is applied. Piezoelectric actuators take advantage of the movement caused by electric signals to create short, high-frequency, and fast response strokes. The movement that piezoelectric actuators produce is often parallel to the electric field. However, in some cases where the device is set to work on the transverse piezoelectric effect, the movement is orthogonal to the electric field. We have selecting and actuators. Actuators have myriad applications in different fields, but this doesn't mean that all actuators are made equal. When purchasing an actuator, you should be able to know which suits your requirements best. Here is a comprehensive guide on how to choose the right actuator for your needs. Does the object you need to move in your project require linear or rotary movement? Linear actuators are used in exerting a mechanical force that would move an object in a straight line, while rotary actuators, as the name suggests, generate circular motion. Electrical actuators are becoming more and more popular due to their increasing sophistication and flexibility in handling various kinds of operations. But that doesn't mean it's suited for every work out there. Consider hydraulic or pneumatic actuators if your work does not include electrical voltage input. Assess the precision level required. Some actuators are ideal for heavy-duty work in rough environments, but they may not work well when it comes to handling smaller work like packaging, which requires precision and the ability to repeat the same action hundreds or thousands of times. Find out how much force you need. The purpose of an actuator is to move or lift an object. Find out, in your case, how much this object weighs. The load capacity of an actuator decides how much it can lift, and although many actuators may look similar, their load capacity will vary. Before you buy an actuator, make sure the weight of your object matches the capacity of the actuator. Distance or stroke length, as it is technically known, matters here. The stroke length decides how far your object can be moved. Manufacturers often sell actuators of varying stroke length. How fast do you want the movement to be? The speed of the actuator is often an important factor for most people, depending on their project. Usually, projects that require actuators to exert high force would move slower than those that generate low force. Speed of an actuator is measured in distance per second. Consider the operating environment. Does the actuator need to work in a rugged or rough environment where dust or humidity is a concern? If this is the case, you would want to choose a product with higher protection rating. Actuators in the market come in different mounting styles, and understanding their benefits is necessary before buying an actuator. For instance, a dual pivot mounting method in a linear electric actuator allows the device to pivot on both sides while extending and retracting. With this, the application gets to have two free pivot points while moving on a fixed path. Thank you and God bless.